y'all. Welcome to the
Hey.
Insecure series finale. This is it. This is the end. It is fiend. What is some other words? Adios. How you say the end in Spanish?
Serenata.
Sa-
Serenata, ain't that it?
sayonara.
Saranara.
Sayonara. Did you say serenata? It
I
is
had ghetto Spanish. LAUSD over here.
adios, no hasta luego, hasta niente. Is niente never? Y'all help us out. If y'all, if anybody speaks different languages,
Yeah.
how do you say the end? How do you say it's over? It's done. Hey, MD Turb. Yes. Okay. First of all, welcome Ashley, who is live from LA. She is like on her vacation and she still was like, yeah, we're gonna do it, even though she tried to back out the last second. But it's okay, she here. Hey, Season, who's extra festive from her holiday party.
Yes, I had a little shindig
A
today or
little
whatever, a little
shindig.
fish
A shink to
fry.
think.
Yes. Hey, S. Murphy. We did have a nice Christmas. Christmas wasn't exactly how I planned it, but we karaoke'd until 2 a.m. this morning. I had my new karaoke mics came in just in time. Hey, Toilet Tisha. Okay, Thomas Einstein Maddox's show was awesome tonight. Oh, Patrick is in the chat saying season's party was epic. Yes. Built by Creative says it ended how it should have. Trey Lovely is here. Hey, y'all. Okay. So this is the end. Now, let's just start off. We're going to go in order. They covered so much ground, which I'm very much pleased by. The only weak part I felt like in covering the ground was they did it by birthdays, and I have no sense of when their birthdays are, like in the year. Like maybe I'm supposed to have known that, but for me, it wasn't clicking. Like, okay, is this January? Is this March? I got from it that Issa and Molly have birthdays pretty close to each other, but I could be completely wrong. Do you guys actually know when the birthdays are in the course of the year from watching? Does anybody know?
I saw on like Insecure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. They had posted like Issa and Molly's signs, like zodiac signs. I know Molly, I think she was a Scorpio, and what's her name was a Pisces or something like that. I could absolutely be wrong, but they posted that. But as far as the show, I don't know when their birthdays are.
Yeah, I didn't. That was the only weakness for me. Like, shit, y'all got to give us some damn context clues because I had no fucking idea when these birthdays were. So yeah, that would have been.
All I remember was that Tiffany's birthday was like coming up a month or two after the last episode.
I feel like the last episode they were saying that Molly's birthday was next and they were going to all try to get together for Molly's birthday. But at any rate, that was, like I said, that was the only weak part for me. I just had no sense of when these birthdays were. But it's obvious that the show, that last episode, took course over the course of at least 2 years. And I'm all for flash forwarding stuff. I thought they did it in a really great way that didn't feel rushed to me. That felt like, okay, this is the last thing. We're trying to figure out what the hell happened with these lives. Okay, what we're talking about. CA is here. I thought that was clever. The B-Day timeline. Hey, the 33. Trey Lovely says the episode was so good. Yvette Smith enjoyed the episode. Built by Creatives is Lawrence Hive. Hey, Karina. Okay, so all right, let me just start with everybody's ratings. Okay, for me, I give it an overwhelming 2 thumbs up. I loved the episode. It gave what it was supposed to have gave for me. It understood the assignment for me. This, mind you, this is Insecure we talking about. We're not talking about like a Greenleaf or Queen Sugar, you know what I'm saying? So as far as Insecure goes, I feel like they understood the assignment, and I feel like it really gave. CA says, where the Bun Girl go? Bun Girl has the curls today, CA. Okay.
Yeah, Bun Girl got her hair done today. This nigga don't recognize
her. Yo, you see how these niggas be doing us, okay, out of these streets? I could not be in LA and not have my hair done.
Right,
so. You definitely can't do that. You definitely can't do that. You definitely can't do that. S. Murphy says Insecure gave Insecure. Okay, MD Type says say acabó is over in Spanish. Okay. Let's see, the flash forward was a wonderful idea. Okay, so I think everybody liked the flash forward idea. Okay, so I'm gonna start with you, Season. What's your overall rating for the finale? Was it giving, or were you still just like, I'm just glad this shit is over, so we ain't got to recap it anymore?
Definitely glad it's over. I think that it gave closure, which is good. It skipped a whole lot of shit, but it gave closure. It did what needed to be done. I mean, we ain't got to worry about who is where and what they doing and all this other shit. But it was some stuff. I don't know if I was cleaning up the kitchen, and was listening on my ear things. So I don't know if I had missed something, but some people had rings on, and you didn't see nobody get engaged, and so it was just
really, they did not show engagements. You're right about that.
Yeah, so I was like, are they married? Like, of course we got a wedding out the episode, but I'm like, man, what's going on?
Yeah,
but, it got closure. Okay, my rating out of 2 thumbs up, or
well, whatever, however you want to rate. That was my scale. My scale is 2 thumbs up. What's your whatever your scale is?
It was cool.
It was cool. Okay, Ashley. Ashley, who threatened to not recap it with us. What was your fun? Because you said that before the episode was over. So, I mean, I feel like you had to have at least taken into account the whole episode. Yeah,
what was your breaking point? Because you said that like 30 minutes into the episode.
No, I think it was. Ashley, go ahead.
If we talk about my breaking point, it's gonna, piss the Lawrence Hive off. So we go in there already.
Well, let's talk about we're going to go in steps. So let's talk about overall rating. Let's not talk about one part you didn't like. Let's talk about the overall episode.
Okay.
Where did you end up at the end?
Overall, you know what? I definitely would give this, I would say out of a 10, I'd give it like an 8.5.
Oh, that's good.
Definitely.
Wow.
I would give it, because it closed out everything we needed to close out, which was one. I loved the outfits throughout the episode on every character,
and
especially
hair.
Kelly in that green. Oh, and hair. Yes, they absolutely looked gorgeous. And I like that they showed the streets of LA. I really like that they do that, and the timeline, to show the timeline through birthdays. I thought that was pretty clever. So I definitely give it an 8.5. I enjoyed the episode. I did, mainly not for Issa, but for everybody else's storyline. I enjoyed it.
Well, okay, let's go through some comments and then we'll step through it. Karina says Issa wrote the final episode, and I think that's appropriate that she didn't outsource it. I feel like Issa really, it was like a love letter to where the series had been the entire time, and kind of like, well, I feel like she gave the fans what they would want. Like, they would want to see Issa win. Like, let's step out of the insecure box. Anytime a Black show comes to an end, you want to see the characters that you rooted for the entire time win. And I love that she gave everybody a win. And even people who don't normally get like anything other than just like a little sidebar, they got wins, like Kelly and even Tiffany. So we're going to get into all that. Let me go through some more comments. Karina says, are Issa and Lawrence engaged, married? That was unclear to me. I thought maybe we'll get to it later, but I thought that there was going to be like an engagement at the end. It's not clear, but we can talk about that later. Let's see. Y'all ladies going to give me my props for being right about Lawrence versus Nathan or not? No, we're not going to give you your props, but we will talk about it.
It's his kids. No.
MD Terp says the finale was good overall. I didn't think it was great, but it wrapped things up nicely, seeing many mixed results about the last scene. I thought the last scene was like, that was it. It was abrupt, but I knew it wasn't going to be perfect, but it didn't give you Sopranos, like they're at dinner and you don't know if somebody walks in and blows Tony Soprano's head off or what, so it gave us like, okay, to be continued, but not in a way that wasn't like, like we don't know what the hell is going to happen. Season skipped over stuff. I would have been okay if this was the last. It was at least an hour episode. It was 40 44 minutes. It was 44 minutes. So they gave us more. Some of the episodes this season were like 27 minutes. So I was really happy to see. I looked ahead to see how long is this episode going to be, and it was like 40 something minutes. Let's see. They exaggerated when they said we would see the unexpected. Kelly's pregnancy was the only unexpected thing, I think. I thought they did have some curveballs thrown in there, which I thought were good. Certainly, Kelly getting any kind of plot of her own is always unexpected for me. So they definitely didn't exaggerate if they were talking about Kelly. Yaya says, I did wish they gave us more considering how many episodes was wasted this season. I agree. I think they could have covered more of this ground in other episodes, but since they didn't, at least they gave it to us in the end. Okay. MD Terp says it's still fuck Lawrence all day. We're gonna start a fight. I'm going in the order of comments. So I don't know if this started a fight. We're gonna talk about Kelly. Strong finish to a series finale. RL says it's very difficult to close out a series. It is, and I think they did a great job though. They really did. 8.5 is a good rating. It's a disappointing but not super memorable either. It was good. I think Michelle, you're trying to say it wasn't disappointing or it was disappointing. Let's see. Happy Kwanzaa. Yes. Let's see. Okay, everybody's saying hey. So maybe I scrolled up on accident. Nathan went out bad. Oh, we're gonna talk about that. Okay, it's a lot of comments. I'm almost gotten through all of it. Nathan need a spinoff. Really? You think so?
He is no.
Please no insecure spinoffs. We can't. I don't have time for that. HBO, don't do it.
I'd be interested in to see Kelly as a mom.
Yes. Okay. So I think we've gotten to the part where
writers, not with Issa behind it.
well, Natasha Rothwell actually is a head writer on the show, so I don't know for the life of me. I'll never understand why she never gave Kelly anything. She never gave her anything, but I don't know. RAO says no spinoffs. Okay. All right. So let's go in order. So we start off the show right where the last one episode ended off. Nathan is in the car with Issa, and basically Nathan gave Issa the energy that Issa gave Lawrence. Like, basically it's over, bitch. Like, this is too messy. I actually, I wasn't mad at it, but it for me confirmed why Nathan was never right for Issa, because I just feel like he got back with Issa because that's who he wanted, but he was always one foot in, one foot out. He was never really secure in the relationship. Part of it might be his own, mental health that he had to deal with. And Issa's confusing as fuck. She's all over the place. And so, I wasn't mad at it, but I also felt like, calling the situation toxic. I don't think that you can blame Issa for Lawrence's outburst. She didn't necessarily do anything to encourage it. So I don't know. How did you feel, Ashley, about, Nathan calling the situation toxic when in reality, that was the first time Issa and Nathan had even seen each other and or even had words? What was your reaction to that?
I was very proud that she just walked away and said, okay. That's not something we about to sit and argue about. You are clearly not having any level of accountability for your actions and how it kind of blew the situation up even bigger. And the fact that you saying it's me and Lawrence when she didn't even respond, and I don't know what he really expected her to say before he interrupted, she was just taking it in. So I definitely was good for her. Walk away. Because the fact that he, one, sat there and said that was toxic. Two, he's crying, talking about this is too much for me. Okay. You need a conversation with your therapist at this point. So yeah, I'm happy that she chose to just let him go about his business and not really beg or anything for him to, stay together with her. So I was happy with that.
I mean, ultimately, even though he wasn't aware, or maybe he was subconsciously aware, she kind of was still a little bit in limbo. What's weird is that she was in limbo but didn't follow up with Lawrence. That's one thing I don't fucking understand, but it's insecure, right? And so obviously it's not going to make a lot of sense in terms of Issa's actions. CA, who's Team Lawrence, says he overreacted. He's a weenie. I called it. Trey Lovely says Nathan certainly did. Huh?
He'll CA will never hear us say he right though. Like he'll never say that.
Trey Lovely says Nathan certainly did cover the vibes that Issa gave Lawrence. Agreed about Nathan. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We all pretty much figured Lawrence was the end game, predictable. I mean, we knew where it was going, right? But I felt like they did it in a way that seemed credible, that made it feel like, okay, Lawrence, Nathan, poof, be gone, like whatever. Nathan, those crocodile tears. Nathan needs to do the work, and my Ayala beloved needs to do the work of my Ayala was. Oh my gosh, here he goes. This was a very light-skinned reaction on his part. Oh my gosh. What does that mean light skin have to do with anything? The fact that Lawrence and Issa are back together shows his intuition was right.
I'm the one who brought up the light skin thing last time.
No, I think CA brought it up, and I think we all figured out that CA has something against light-skinned men. Anyways, Michelle says the fact that Lawrence and Issa are back together shows his intuition was right. I mean, ultimately, Nathan was right, but I feel like the way that he acted in that moment wasn't justified. He turned out to be right, and maybe if he would have been like, something about this don't feel right to me, I would have it would have been fine. But ultimately, I think that they both made the right decision. Season, your reaction to Nathan's breakup with Issa and the comments.
I got full respect for it. I mean, he has throughout this entire relationship, he has been communicating with her his true feelings. He's been communicating with her his true feelings the whole damn time.
Yeah.
And keeping it real with her, calling her out on her shit. His intuition was on point. He said he apologized for the way that he acted at the party or whatever. He said he was wrong, but he was like, "Hey, I gotta take a step back. I can't do this shit with you." And in true fashion, Issa didn't fight for nothing, and she ended up with a nigga who don't fight for her either. They was made for each other. They just want to come back in each other's lives, crack a few jokes, say a couple of lines here and there. They kissing and fucking and back in love again. So Issa she don't deserve something. She got what she deserved. She ended up with who she needed to, and good job on you, Nathan, for always keeping it real and putting your feelings out on Front Street and making Issa deal with her shit. Like, was I proud of her for walking away and said, don't do this right now. Well, okay. Let me go cry and call fucking Lawrence. Like,
but she didn't call Lawrence. She did not call Lawrence, and Lawrence text her. And in fairness, Issa did try to reach out to Nathan, and Nathan blew her off. So it wasn't that she didn't fight for it. Nathan was the one that blew her off. So I do think that she tried to kind of make amends, but he just wasn't hearing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, ultimately, you know what? If it's not right, if you feel like it's toxic, then that's fine to walk away from a situation. But I don't think that Issa was in the wrong of this situation. Ultimately, his intuition was right. But I feel like they went out of their way to make it seem like, Issa really wanted to make it work with Nathan because she didn't immediately go to Lawrence. I mean, it was a year and some change later before she ended up even having a conversation with Lawrence again, which goes back to the fighting thing. I know it's stupid. But yeah, at any rate, yeah, I mean,
I got respect for Nathan. Issa's a piss poor communicator.
Yeah.
She doesn't. And Lawrence, he a little punk ass bitch. He gonna wait until the last minute. They whack. They just I don't have no issue with Nathan, and I don't think Issa was wrong either. It was just on brand for everybody.
It was definitely on brand. I'm glad Nathan broke up with Issa, especially before moving it together. Yeah, I mean, that was clearly going nowhere. I think Nathan was speaking his truth. I don't think he's blaming Issa, but he was saying the situation was right for him. And that's really what's important.
Right.
Yaya said Nathan is emotionally draining. I do agree with that. I do, but I think Issa is emotionally draining as well. So it's not one-sided. But I feel like Nathan definitely turned up in every fucking situation when I was like he turned up at the party. Like, even when she was just trying to give the motherfucker dessert, he was turning up, have bad attitude. So I feel like Nathan, and I don't mean turning up as in going psycho, but I just mean he gets elevated very easily. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that they're really that compatible.
He shouldn't be with somebody who shit's so messy.
This is true. Two people that don't fight for love. Issa did try to communicate. I was the only one that missed that. Let me see. Okay, we're gonna talk about some of this other stuff. Issa was still checking for Lawrence. I like Nathan Issa's interaction at her B-Day party. He seemed very content and there was closure. I thought that was a good conversation. There was clearly closure there. Issa has a very, very long waiting period though. That's the one thing I can't relate to Issa about, yeah, because I'm like, okay, she by the time her party comes, like she had been reaching out to Nathan. Nathan had blew her off. She hadn't reached out to Lawrence. She hadn't been dating anybody. She's still being awkward as fuck. And it just felt like she needed to have that conversation with Nathan to move on. But I'm like, bitch, as soon as he stopped returning your fucking calls, that would have been all the cue I needed to move on. So, I mean, Ashley, like, what's your thought about just the fact that, you know, like Issa, like, bitch, where is your like rebound period? You know what I'm saying? Like, she finally eventually did move on, but I feel like it's a moot point now because how it ended. But I just felt like she always took too much time to like move the fuck on.
You know, this whole chasing a nigga shit is just for the fucking birds, okay? Like, bitch, what are you doing out here? Why? Okay, he didn't respond to you. He didn't say nothing to you. He ghosted you, and then he show up at your party.
Yeah,
like that shit was weird as fuck. Like, oh, okay, because
he didn't ghost her. He broke up with her.
He broke up with her, but he blew her off. I mean, it's not ghosting, but okay, you're right.
She should not have been reaching out. The fact that he broke up with her,
he ain't gonna let her do him like Lawrence.
Yeah,
and like be in and out of her phone for 2 and 3 years.
I think Issa definitely just does not. She don't get it, bitch. He don't want you. What part of that don't you get? You know, why are you chasing after him? What you need what are you looking for closure from this man for? He already told you what it was. You know, do you think if you wait a couple of days he gonna change his mind? Like, girl, go about your life and figure it out. But I was definitely annoyed that she just with that and my breaking point, yeah, they were just
well, some people
operate like a man.
Okay, explain.
Like a broke man.
This is my theory. A nigga get 2 bitches and just string them both along, and whoever's still standing at the end, that's who get the ring.
Oh my God! Seriously?
She went back and forth. Lawrence, you go over here. You have your baby. Nathan, I'm gonna fuck with you for a little bit and be on the fence and be mysterious and not communicate, but I really want you.
Sorry, I'm in LA. Hold on.
Then you get fed up and you go on about your business, but I don't really run back to Lawrence. I make a quick little joke, hit him up. Hey, big head on his birthday, let me take you out. Oh, you gotta be okay. Well, I'm gonna wait for you to be over. Then Lawrence show up. Then Nathan, girl, bye. She drug both of these men along and just was waiting to see whoever got the most bored will come running back to her. She ain't fight for neither one of these men. She a man. Issa, she pulled a fast one on us. We thought we was watching a show about women. We was watching a show about the mind of a man. She had a mind of a man. She just waited both of them hoes out. That's what she did.
I think that is totally unfair. I feel like Issa was confused. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like Issa's getting a totally bad rap when it comes to Nathan. I feel like she really tried to make it work with Nathan. I'm not saying that she was perfect with Nathan, but I think that she really did try. It wasn't like she was fucking with Lawrence behind his back. I mean, she didn't have any contact with Lawrence at all. And I feel like she tried to be respectful.
Contact with her. He had a baby.
I think that Issa did. I think that ultimately Issa was confused, but I think that she tried to be as respectful as she could to her relationship with Nathan. That's my story. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But okay, let's move on. So let's see. So ultimately we're gonna revisit Issa again later, but let's talk about Kelly. Okay, let's talk about Kelly. Kelly actually it was a little something. But oh yeah, Lori says, how about Lawrence still dating other women after showing out the party? Oh, we're gonna get back to that. We're going to get back to that. I promise you. But okay, let's talk about Kelly for a second. So Kelly,
let's go get him some pussy.
he just sucking that fucking,
One thing he gonna do is find a bitch. Okay,
he gonna have him a bitch.
And you know what? I think okay. Let's talk about it now. No. I want to save it. Okay, let's talk about Kelly. So Kelly actually had some momentous things for her. Instead of just being like the comedic relief, the one who's always like pretending to have a man or being like sexual banter, she actually got a whole ass man this episode. Can y'all believe it? She got a whole man. Shout out to Kelly. And she got some career growth. I mean, she ended up partnering up
with Molly,
with Molly, doing estate planning, and she got a baby. Yay, Kelly. Are we excited for Kelly or not?
Of course. Yes. Good for her. I was happy to see that.
You know? Hey, Chantel.
They threw us a little bone for Kelly.
I know. But wait a second. The 33 says the podcast with Kelly went nowhere. It literally went nowhere.
Did they even show that in that scene in the actual show? They just kept showing it in previews.
They did show it. They did show it one time. Oh my God. No, he did not. No, the fuck he did not. Had the nerve to say shout out to Kelly for adding to the Black single mama statistics. Actually, CA, she had a baby with her boyfriend and they stayed together, unlike Lauren Stayington with Connie.
They probably got engaged.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
Everybody had a damn ring on this episode.
I didn't catch rings everywhere, but I will say she's not a single baby mama. She's unmarried, but they're still in a relationship. Okay. Now, one thing I would have wished is that we would have seen her with her baby. It's like we like she announces that she's pregnant, and then we fast forward to a year later and Tiffany is pregnant, and I assume a baby only takes 9 months to bake, that Kelly had her baby already, but we don't see anything about a baby anywhere. So I wish that we would have seen something with that, but Kelly definitely went out on top. She got a man, she got a new career, she was winning. Any other reactions to Kelly in her story arc?
No, I'm so disappointed we didn't get to see her throughout the season. Because y'all ended her on such a high note. And it's like, y'all gave us no build up to this. It's like Kelly was dating. She wasn't drinking. She was on this, path. You give quick little one-liners about her life. And then now all of a sudden she got this fine man, a baby. I thought he kept putting his hand in his pocket. So I thought he was going to propose, but he never did. Mm-hmm. And of course she looked fabulous.
Yeah, she was great.
So I mean, they gave it to us when it came to the way she looked. But it's like, why y'all do this to her? Y'all had clearly a great outline of what you want her life to end like. Why couldn't you give us throughout the season instead of just wasting it? I was so disappointed on how they did Kelly. I mean, it was beautiful. I liked it.
Well, like I think Karina says, we got built up to a lot. We got no build up to a lot of shit this season. I mean, definitely there was the only build up for this whole season was really like Molly and Torian. And then but everything else kind of was just like left field. I mean, maybe you could say Issa and Lawrence, obviously there was build up, but there was a lot of shit that happened that was just like left field. But I guess, that's life. If you think about it in life, a year, 2 years can change a lot in life. I think we all can attest to that, right? So, Karina said, petty ass side note, there were some ugly ass wigs in this episode. The only ugly wig I can think of was I didn't like Molly's CA, who I don't normally agree with. He said you didn't like her Rick James look at the end. That look was definitely for the 45 plus crowd. That was not for.
You're talking about the little vacation wet and wavy.
The bang with the bang.
Oh, you talking when she was at the office though? I didn't like the one at the office.
Yeah.
It was like y'all didn't shape it or nothing. Y'all just pulled that out the bag and shook it.
It was definitely shake and go. It was definitely 45 plus. No shade to being older, but we know once a woman. I know, maybe even 50 plus, child. But the office wig was not it. No. We needed wet and wavy. We did not need shake and go with the bang. Okay, so we've established that. But Molly, She can at least, Ivana Orji can at least rock the ball or the short taper look. So the wet and wavy shaking go was unnecessary. But Issa's hair was laid throughout the whole episode. I loved Issa's hair.
They added a little more hair to her braid this time.
They did. They gave her some volume. They said she had the same hairstyle as her mom. Okay, let's quick rant. Why the fuck do black shows have to kill off parents? Like, it was, to me, it literally added nothing to the show. There was nothing that was necessary about Molly's mom dying. Like, that was so fucking out of pocket. I'm just like, really? Like, it just seems like they just did it for shock value, right? Season, your reaction.
Terrible. Yeah, it added nothing to the show. They showed her getting a call, and then she mentioned it on her birthday, and then they showed it. I didn't get it. It would have been way better if her mom was just there. You know, like, what's the point? It's like you can't have it all. You can't get the man and the mama sitting at your wedding. You know, it's like, and it was the one thing her mom always wanted to see her do, and she never. You know, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just hated that. I was like, are you fucking serious? This is stupid. But they always do that. They always fucking do that on black shows. They always kill off somebody. But Built by Charles says Molly's mom dying shows how valuable time is, what really matters. Like, that's what her being in the fucking hospital in the coma did. Like, we didn't already cover that already?
Issa said when she called Lawrence, I'm there, y'all. This is my breaking point with the show.
Okay.
When Issa called Lawrence, her reason for it was, what happened to Molly, everything that's been happening and going on, it just really has me thinking. So basically, Molly's mom's death, sparked Issa to call up Lawrence. And it's like, girl, y'all did not have to kill off her mom.
But it was also his birthday. Why couldn't it just be his birthday? Like, they all had a birthday theme. So it was just fucking stupid. And it wasn't like, I could maybe see if like, they're at Molly's mom's funeral and like Molly and Issa and fucking Lawrence exchange a knowing glance like, hey, we're immortal. Like, let's get back together. But like, it was his birthday. He was not giving a fuck. He was going to fuck some bitch that he had obviously been seeing. Like, it was just like, I'm saying, boo, thumbs fucking down. This is why I can't even watch Best Man Holiday anymore, because they fucking killed off the wife of cancer. Like, why the fuck do you have to have the wife die of cancer in a fucking Christmas Best Man movie? Like, it's stupid. But anyways, they always kill off black people. I mean, fucking what? There was a little baseball movie with Keanu Reeves, right? And the little boy, was it like The Sandlot or some shit? You got served, they killed somebody off. Best Man. I could go on and on, but killing all people is fucking unnecessary, and I hate it. And we're also in a pandemic. Like, we are surrounded by enough death. We don't need fucking random arbitrary deaths that don't add shit. So yeah. I'm very much bitter by that, but I mean, I wasn't like super invested in Molly's mom, but I just think it was fucking unnecessary. But anyways, okay, so Kelly, yeah, I mean, some people aren't mad about it. Some people think it's relatable. I'm just like, I didn't like it. I did not fucking like it at all. Okay, so let's see. So we talked about Kelly. So, okay, Tiffany moved to Denver and she hates it. But I really feel like they didn't give us much for her other than the fact that she hated it. But, and then obviously when they were in Denver, Molly found out about her mom. And she also talked to Issa like, I wondered what you would have said to Lauren. So they had that whole exchange and that, whatever, we're not going to get into all that. But Tiffany, ultimately what ends up happening is Tiffany ends up pregnant by the end of, or well, at least a flash forward in the episode at Molly's wedding. So anything to say about Tiffany? Are we moving on? Not much. Tiffany got an okay ending. I
just didn't like the fact that they didn't expand on her. Like she said, I don't like it out here. I haven't met anybody. Like, they keep hinting at her having some level of depression and they never go into it or give it any type of storyline. So it was like, what's the point? Why don't you give her lines?
With another baby? It's like, okay, so I mean,
it was like wah wah wah. Like, it really didn't go anywhere. I think Simone was adorable though. I loved seeing her from the low side of her face that we saw. But yeah, I just think that they never really gave Tiffany anything. It was like, okay, Tiffany's married. She's always been relatively happily married, I guess. She got her 2 kids, White House and picket fence, so she's good, I guess. But they didn't really give her any range of emotion. So I'm gonna assume that she had a happy ending. Good for her. Okay, let's talk about Molly and Torian. Oh my goodness. I loved to see Molly's growth throughout the episode. And I thought there were so many touching moments. What was your favorite moment, if you have one, starting with you, Ashley, of Molly's arc in the finale?
I really
and in the comments, in the comments, you guys chime in as well.
I really enjoyed that intimate scene of Issa helping her take off her dress. Because it was like, my mom's not here. I'm sorry, y'all, for my background.
Yeah, you're hood, nigga.
Hood. Just know, okay? CA, I'm from the motherfucking hood, okay? But no, I really enjoyed the fact that they showed that she took that role. She stepped in for Molly so she wouldn't really necessarily miss a beat with it.
Mm-hmm. From her mother, Molly, you mean?
Yeah. And her just really expressing her gratitude to Issa crying. It was just a really pretty moment.
She cried?
It was really...
Yeah, she did cry. It was real tears. I saw tears.
Okay, that's it right there. I'm gonna submit
she did great. It's Emmy Award winning acting, okay?
What?
She did Emmy Award winning acting. What? So yeah, I was definitely I was in it. I really like that scene. And that dress Issa had on was gorgeous. Molly's dress.
Oh, the red dress. Oh yes, so flawless.
Yes. So yeah, it was definitely, it was good. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was beautiful. I love that they gave Molly growth, like mentally, spiritually, personality wise growth. I love when she said to Issa at the end, "Thank you for loving me while I was me." And we know what that meant, like neurotic, at times bitchy, like, self-absorbed, a number of things. But Molly has always been a good friend. And I always felt like the strongest parts of Insecure was those friendships, particularly Molly and Issa. I thought the weakest part was when Issa and Molly were beefing. I was like, this is fucking terrible, because that's the best part of the show. So I'm really, really happy that they are in a super good place. And I like kind of that, like, Molly went first in the terms of like getting her happy ending, because Molly has been trying to get that White House and the picket fence herself, and she did the work. And she got there first in terms of growth and like maturity way before Issa did. So I like that she ended up married. Torian, I thought, was a perfect match for her. And there was like no confusion at any point. So to me, it all worked together in a really credible way. Even though obviously it was a lot of fast forwarding, to me, I felt like it worked. Season, what's your reaction?
I thought it was kind of just like Molly was just on Issa's dick the whole episode. Like, you're my best friend. I don't know what I would do without you. I love you. Oh my God, you're so supportive. I don't know. Thank you. It was just like, dang, okay, that's what's up. You love Issa. Like, that's it right there. It was just like, wow. I mean, it was cute. To me, all their scenes were kind of similar. Like, oh, you're my bestie. My mom isn't here anymore, but I love you and thank you. I didn't really have a favorite scene between them. I'm sorry. I know I sound harsh as fuck.
No, it's your opinion. It's your opinion.
I like the reference to the broken pussy in the first season. I thought that was funny.
And that's how they closed out the show. And I thought that was
I like that reference.
Okay, let's go to some of the comments.
Sorry, you
Karina
guys.
says Molly and Torian getting married was no surprise for me. Yes, I'm glad that they went there though. Like, I'm glad that there was no ambiguity. Somebody commented earlier, like, did it not seem like it was like Issa's wedding, like maybe it was a fake out, but it did. But Issa, we know, I'm pretty sure that Amanda Seales was not at Issa's wedding, so that's how I know it was not. They didn't just film like a double fake wedding at Issa's wedding. This was a whole different wedding. Okay, no shade. I mean, it's not me being shady. They obviously don't fuck with her like that, so I ain't got nothing to do with that. Anyways, I would have loved to have seen a little more Molly and Torian. Absolutely. I feel like they could have started Molly and Torian way earlier in the season, but it is what it is. Team Torian. Tiffany's wig was a mess too. Yes, that dinner wig was a mess when Kelly announced her pregnancy. It was a great team between Issa and Molly. Somebody thought the beats were their house. Okay. Molly finding a balance between work and love at the end was good. Yes, growth. We love to see growth. Let's see. Molly was always hard, so it's nice to see her surrender to her emotions. That's right. The strong Black woman. You don't have to always be so strong. Okay, Lori says there were no tears. I saw tears. Let's see. I can't read that. Materica, I was in tears and unseen. I totally relate to how they both felt. And when she said, "There goes my girl," I love that too. Issa really stepped up and supported Molly throughout this episode and throughout the whole season. This was Molly's season. I mean, I think she won the season, but I feel like they still gave us like not as much as they could have gave us for Molly. I feel like we got more Molly last season. I mean, she had her whole episode with Andrew in Mexico, and like this one, she had memorable scenes, but I didn't feel like they really gave her a lot. Molly and Issa's relationship is essentially the foundation of the entire show. Yes. Let's see. When Molly and Issa were beefing, that was a lot. Makes sense for Molly to go first because she already had the career. Well, I mean, not necessarily. I don't feel like it's all about your career going first. I just think it was more so about growth. But that's an interesting thought.
Molly always knew what she wanted. And
this is true.
So, and Issa was always somewhere off confused. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. It would have been cute if they had the best friend song during that scene. For me, that song is Ain't No Fun if the Homies Can't Have None. That's when you get all my girls together. We some Cali girls, and we definitely gonna know every lyric. Let's see. Ironclad says, "Susan, you're hating." It's her opinion. She's not hating. CA
what
says,
am I hating on?
Exactly. I like the glasses girl perspective last week. By any chance was she drinking earlier? She is very much 8 months pregnant, so not drinking.
My baby doing 3 weeks, baby.
Yes.
I wish I was drinking at my
okay, like don't get cussed out, CA. Don't do that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna cuss nobody out.
I'm gonna cuss them out. Keep it respectful. We playing and we being funny, but she's very much pregnant. She's not drinking just because you don't like her opinion. Anyways, Molly ended up at a wonderful place at the end. What else? Oh, somebody said, what's up with Amanda? And he's, I don't know, Chad. I don't know. You have to ask them. I was wondering, were they going to salvage Molly's character after she tried to fight her at the function? They pulled it off beautifully. I feel like we're way past that.
Yeah, Molly.
Season froze. Are you back? Oh, Prentice told Yvonne to go off script for the bathroom scene with Issa. So I went to an event that Issa put on. It was there. She does like this thing. Issa represents pieces. I think it was a piece or something like that. Anyway, so they did an event. So Molly or Yvonne Orji, was the main like person that was being interviewed. And this was before maybe one of their season premieres. And you can tell they are real friends. So, I mean, I definitely felt like that wasn't even really acting in that scene. Like, they really have a ride or die friendship. So I love that. Their chemistry is top notch. So
yeah,
I thought that they really gave, like, you know, whatever happens with the show, they weren't necessarily friends before the show, but by the end of the show, like, obviously they were like two peas in a pod.
Really close.
Yeah. And it's interesting too from you know, like the social media stuff, like obviously Jay Ellis is super close with them, so they're a tight-knit group. I haven't seen as much interaction with Natasha Rothwell and them. I'm sure they're all cordial, but I haven't seen them interact as much. So anyways, let's see. I would have loved to have seen how Molly and Issa resolve their conflict. Did you miss like the whole season they had about it? Michelle, come on, they had a whole season about Molly and Issa like kind of resolving. I mean, the first episode this season was also with them kind of resolving it with in terms of in terms of remember they got like held up at the what you call it. I had to keep the order the same because everybody's used to singing in the order. She said, no, I didn't miss it. Okay. Well, I mean, they had their conversations that didn't necessarily resolve it or kind of fake resolved it. And then like at the beginning of this season, the first episode, or was it the second one of those two, when they got robbed, they just kind of like laughed it off and like became friends again. So I was happy with that because I feel like they had already gone through these conversations the whole prior season, and I felt like that was enough. I didn't need to see any more of Issa and Molly beefing. So anyway, so ultimately, like Molly ends up on top. Kelly ends up on top. Tiffany, we assume she's on top. So now let's close out the Issa discussion. So where we stopped was at Issa's birthday. And so she gets the closure conversation with Nathan. She moves on and she, ends up dating really handsome, attractive guys. And I thought Issa Mirror Issa was funny as shit. Like her comments, like when Nasir, her date, was there and he was good looking. He was ready to dig her down, you know what I'm saying? And Issa, and then Lawrence calls Issa and he was like, bitch, you better the fuck not, like, it's not gonna work, and anyway, moral of the story is so she does date, she tries to move on, but she never really does. I know, Season, what you laughing at?
He coming for us.
I know he had something to say about Ashley, about me, about Season. It's okay, whatever. Anyways, we CA has been coming for us the entire thing. But you know what? We put our face out there. So when you put your face out there and you put your voice out there, you stand 10 toes down and people say what they say, and it is what it is. Okay, who cares? Anyways, Daniel, but we got Thug Yoda. Who was Thug Yoda? Is that Nasir? Who was Thug Yoda?
Isn't that the guy from the apartment complex?
Oh, yeah. Okay, when she drove by the dunes. Yes. No, empty type. You don't have to put them in CA. It's okay. Whatever. It's okay. People have their little opinions. Let's see. So, what do you think about, like, I mean, okay, I'm sure you guys don't have much to say, but what did you think about at least Issa, like, dating other guys? I mean, was it like, what are we wasting our time with these scenes for? Or was it important to kind of show that she, like, tried to move on? Ashley, your reaction.
I feel like it was such a waste of time. Y'all wasted our time with this. She wasn't about to do nothing. Okay. Yeah. She wasn't trying. At her birthday party, they were saying like there's birthday dick all around. And then, like, okay, yeah, are you trying to show that she, you're trying to show that she at least tried, but did she really try though? I mean, it just didn't. It didn't do anything for me.
I think the one thing that always kind of fell flat for me was just how unsure of herself she was because of the like turmoil in her dating life. And I feel like as a Black woman, like, I mean, maybe it's different, but I don't know of any of my friends who are that unsure of themselves simply because this one part is missing. Like most of my girls, like, yes, of course, my girls who are single, like they would love to be in a relationship, but in the meantime, in between time, they're living their best fucking life. You don't see them like having this angst at all times. So I just think that, like, they made it so that you kind of had to. For me, I'm like, okay, she could just get with fucking Lawrence so she could be happy in life, like, because I just didn't understand why she just couldn't be sure of herself. But we did see some major moves with Issa. She got the block, like a full office building. Hair was on point. Everything was on point. So she was definitely growing. Even the whole surprise birthday party was like, her kind of coming in to take charge about this leak that wasn't really a leak or whatever. So I thought that was good. But let's revisit a little bit. So Issa calls Lawrence, being awkward as fuck per usual, on his birthday, like, oh, I had this epiphany, blah, blah, blah. And Lawrence, like, this how he got into the situation with Condola. Even though he had a whole bitch that was outside the door, he was like, "Oh, well, I have plans, but we can still get together." And she kind of like rushed off the phone. Now, I'm just gonna give this one to Season. What is your reaction to the thwarted reunion? I mean, go ahead, just give me your reaction.
Like her initial call. I mean,
Yeah.
She that was her hey big head moment. Like,
hey big head. Yes, you did say that earlier.
Yeah, it's my ex birthday. Let me hit them up and see what they doing. And you know that meme where it's Future texting some toxic ass shit, and he's you ain't got to respond. That it was one of them moments for me. Like, they've been like, it's been a time has passed, and she just popping up just to see where his head is at real quick, and he got him a chick. Nothing really materializes out of it. It was just a shot in the dark, but it wasn't like, nothing major. It was just a shot in the dark for her. I mean, the scene could have been with Nathan, and I would have had the same reaction to it.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley, what was your reaction to the fact that, she didn't call Lawrence back at any point before then? She was calling Nathan, he blew her off, whatever. And then so she just pops up on his birthday. And of course he had, not exactly moved on, but like the girl that showed up, hey babe, and all that kind of shit, she thought the motherfucker had moved on. But what was just your reaction?
But how about the parents? Big up in Condola, like, they team Condola all of a sudden. Oh, okay, but she didn't even bother to meet the bitch when she was pregnant. Now you see yo grandbaby turning out half decent and ain't stressing your little big head son out. Now all of us, she got her shit together, her hair stay done. See,
he said one braid. What does that mean? One braid? I don't understand.
I don't know what that means. One braid.
I don't know if it's a crown braid. I don't know, but that was weird. But okay, but I don't know if that was just meant to be a fake out, like at the door. I mean, to me, it was obvious that whoever was at the door was going to be Conlon, because he said she was taking little man for the night. So, let me go to some of the comments and then Ashley, your reaction. Let me see. Gaga says Issa being shocked he picked up was childish. Karina says, what was that about? Yes, we know Lawrence was the end game, but I would have been happier had she just been a boss bitch on her own and dating the new guy with no drama. But we know that wasn't gonna happen. I don't like it. Why wasn't he still fighting for Issa? Like, it sounded like he sent her one text and that was it. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to go down like that. Like, that was my issue. It was like, oh, so when she has a whole nother nigga, you fucking her shit up at the party, confessing your love, even though he steps motherfucking away, and then that's it. Like, that's all you got for her motherfucking ass is like, oh, let me fuck your shit up, then a motherfucker break up with Issa, and there's no follow-up aside from that one text. Like, I thought the whole thing that gassed you up was that you're supposed to fight, and like, obviously you didn't fucking do that, and then you turn around and move on, which is his prerogative to do. But I'm just like, that to me just aggravated me, because I'm like, Lawrence, why did you fuck her shit up and you just gonna go around and get you a whole nother chick? Ashley, your reaction.
I was annoyed as fuck. I was annoyed because, you had this dude at this party confess his undying love for her, right? His whole thing was, I can't live without you. I need you in my life. I want you in my life. Did this whole big spiel, right? And only thing we saw was that he sent her one measly text message. Now you got this girl calling him and y'all have him blow her off because he got another bitch at the door. But I thought you were madly in love and needed me and wanted me and all of this. So it was just really annoying that they had Issa really begging these two dudes to fuck with her.
That is true, because technically she was begging Nathan, and then she's begging Lawrence. Like, bitch, you're down.
It was just annoying. It didn't even have anything to do. That shit was whack as fuck. It was absolutely whack as fuck. Now, okay, Lawrence can go off. He can date whoever we want. He's already shown that he's going to choose pussy over a baby. So, like, we get this. Sorry. We already know that they're going to choose pussy before taking care of his motherfucking son. So, Lawrence is doing Lawrence shit. So, I'm not even shocked at that. But it's just like, why y'all making Issa go out like some little bitch on this show? Like, why she gotta beg these dudes? You're evolving her to this state of, you know, giving these speeches on phones with dudes and then getting turned down and dumped. It's just, it's wild. That annoyed the fuck out of me. Where I was like, I don't even want to finish watching this shit because why would y'all do that to her? Like, why would y'all write this character to be this fucking stupid?
Well, and I think that like Trey Lovely says it best. Like Lawrence is just as wishy-washy as Issa. It's like you are not a fighter. Neither one of them are fighters. Neither one of them are communicators. Yep. It's a miracle that they ended up together because it's like, but the only reason why they ended up together is because Lawrence obviously is not capable of having a fucking relationship with anybody else. And so I guess they just both like ended up together by default because like they both suck at relationships.
They're both lazy. They both lazy and they both just take turns falling into each other's arms. I mean,
yeah.
Every time they hook up, every time they get back together, it is with the most minimal effort.
I know, isn't it like weird? It's like, how is this so easy?
They don't even be going on dates, bitch. Like he just showed up to her office and fucked. Like,
yeah, I know, right? Like, make them work a little bit for
them. They're lazy. They're lazy.
Like, and they weren't even drunk or high.
They weren't drunk. They were high. Pure lazy. How did he even know she was there? Did she call him and tell him to come through?
Yeah, she must have called him. She definitely must have called him. But here's the thing. Now, I will say this. Okay, so we're saying all this. A lot of people are agreeing that they're both wishy-washy. They're annoying, pining over each other. Whatever, I'm ignoring that. Let's see. Issa and Lawrence, slightly real life for me. I've moved on and dated other men, but my heart still beats for the one I have the most history with. It is what it is. I guess that's like where the appeal is. Let's see. Lori says, Iron says, I didn't take it as begging. I mean, begging might be a strong word, but I definitely feel like she kept getting rejected. Okay, so for these men to be so into her, she the fucking one ended up rejected more times than not. Okay. That's weird for me, but anyways, Lawrence was whack for that. He knew Nathan and Issa were moving in and he blew up the part. That is true. He was cock blocking like a motherfucker because they were supposed to be moving in together. He already knew that, and then he turned around and fuck her shit up, and then it was like, oh, see you later, wouldn't want to be, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was whack. I thought that was whack. But anyways, somebody says, I contacted corporate. They owe me 3 more episodes. The Lawrence hate is irrational at this point. It's literally not hate. It's also not irrational. You know, I think it's irrational to not be able to have a conversation about fictional characters without getting so fucking emotional about people's reactions to each individual scene. I think that's irrational. But anyways, but I will
5 seasons of this show. And we didn't get not one true love. Not like, you know, like the closest we got to a love story was Torian, and they barely showed us that. So, you know, it was just like I said, that it was just disappointing to see the 2 main characters who have been going back and forth this whole time not really give us anything, like not really show us what it was. How, this connection is solely based on history, because what is truly drawing y'all together, like other than you want that old thing back, you know? So it is for me. Like, I understand people can go back and forth for years and hey big head and oh you got a man, well, let me know when they start fucking up, you know. I cannot relate to that because I'm cold turkey. I will act like I don't know you. So I cannot relate to this, but they still could have gave me a love story. Like, where's the love story in this? They basically just waited and ended up together. That's it.
I agree with you in terms of like, I mean, for me, I rooted for them at the end just because I'm rooting for Issa, and I was just like, okay, obviously this plot is never going to go anywhere unless she's with Lawrence, so fuck it, just end up with Lawrence already so she can be happy. I didn't root for them because simply because wait, I forgot what I was gonna say. I get distracted by the comments. Anyways, I was gonna say, oh yeah, I didn't root for them because they were this great love, and it was like, oh, they're so meant to be. It's fate, and blah blah blah. I didn't root for them for that reason. I just rooted for them because I'm like, okay, well, they're obviously, this is gonna go nowhere with anybody else. CA said before y'all said Lawrence won't fight for Issa, then when he did fight, it's C blocking. Okay, so obviously somebody either doesn't know what cock blocking is, because as a woman, I have been cock blocked on many a motherfucking times. You don't know how many times somebody has, you know, waste her time 2000x, okay, XX, and you know, they sit up there and they make it seem like they're so fucking interested in you, only to just completely waste your fucking time. I've had that happen plenty of times. Okay, it's annoying. Now, I wasn't in a relationship with the motherfuckers, but I'm just saying, any woman can relate to being out. Some dude is all in your motherfucking ear, making sure nobody else come up to you, because some people have a whole line of motherfuckers who want to talk to you, but the motherfucker want to sit up there and talk to you and be like, well, get your number and then don't call. That's what I call cock blocking, okay? That's why I learned, oh no, bitch, you get 5 minutes, that's it, then it's on to the motherfucking next. You're not about to cock block me all night because I don't trust it. I don't trust it. If you want to have a conversation, we can go on a date. We're not going to be sitting up here all night in the corner kikiing and talking when I got a motherfucking phone for that. But anyway, that was the rant. The whole thing is Lawrence cock blocked Issa, point blank in the motherfucking period. Okay. And it was because of his ego more than anything. But at the end of the day, despite the fact that Lawrence got his birthday freak on without Issa, fast forward to however, I don't know if that was a whole another year that went by, she invites him over to her opening. And I did like what she had to say. So I feel like they did sell it for me. In the end, it made sense. It made sense when she said, you know, I realized it was all in my head. Nobody was doubting me except for me. Yes, Issa. Oh my God. Like all the whole fucking 5 seasons, like she was her own worst critic and just completely ridiculous. And everybody was encouraging her every step of the way. And she was always the one. Well, let me not say that, because sometimes people did try to talk her out of shit, especially Molly, in particular when it comes to the guy she was dating. But I think career-wise, people were always rooting for her. And then she said, I had to believe it'll work out for it to work. And then Lawrence said, you know, thank you, MD Tarp. He says, what Reese said made perfect sense. I don't expect some people to understand what I said, Cher. You have to be attractive enough and, you know, just desired enough to understand where I'm coming from in terms of cock blocking. But anyways, that was me to the my own horror, and I'm not ashamed to do that. Anyways, but he said, so when Lauren said, so do you believe it'll work out? So this is like talking in code a little bit. And then she says, I'm okay with finding out. And then they kiss and, you know, have their awkward fucking sex moment. But I was like, okay, I get it. Like they're back together. I bought it. I know it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot of buildup, but for me, I bought it. Ashley, was that enough for you, or did you need to see more?
I was over it by then.
I mean, you were just like, whatever.
Yeah, like whatever. We know y'all getting back together. You know, like Season said earlier, I know I jumped out for a second, but when Season said that there was no romance, that's my thing. Like y'all getting back together, but there's no romance to this. She keep doing these big ass speeches. You standing here and basically telling him, you know, oh, it's me. I was my own worst critic. I'm blocking myself from loving. I'm going with the flow and let's take the girl. Why you keep begging this man? He got a whole ass baby he don't give a fuck about. Why are you begging to be some nigga stepmommy? I don't understand this shit. Like
I don't think she was begging. You thought she was begging in that moment?
Didn't he just tell her earlier that he had another bitch at the house?
No, he didn't. He did not admit to that. He said he had plans, and I think that was a year. I don't know. I can't recall exactly the time frame, the time lapse between that call. I feel like it was a year, or it was some time. It was some time had passed.
I think if I would have seen him, I mean, I know he spilled his guts, right, at Tiffany's party or at that scene in front of Nathan and did all this and I love you and I want you and blah, blah, blah. I know he did that, right?
Yeah.
But what if the whole thing was that he was there to fight for her and he was trying to fight for her? I don't understand why they're only showing her pursuing him. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
there was no wooing he did. There was no romance. They didn't, like Caesar said, there was no dates. It's just like, okay, what it looks like to me is you caught this nigga, he had a whole nother bitch, you waited a little while, caught this nigga again, or waited till the bitch was gone, and now you bring him to your spot to show what you got and to talk him into being with you. It's like, why are you pursuing him so much? And I understand the history. I get that they've been together on and off all these years. Like, I completely understand all of that. But it's like, why y'all make her go out this way? You know, like, why couldn't there be, if y'all gonna make them get together, show there's a little bit more effort than just like some little monologue real quick and then they fuck it on the table.
You know what? I actually agree with you. It's giving Love and Basketball, let me play for your heart. And I was thinking, like, when I thought about that, I was like, wait a minute, why the fuck does she have to play for his heart? Like, wasn't he the one that did her fucking dirty? Like, so I mean, I think, you know, you have these grand like reunions, and I feel like the guy is supposed to be the one who like does the grand gesture, like, you know, like stands outside in the rain or something like that, or brings flowers. I feel like they're supposed to be like way more than what they gave. Obviously, everybody has a lot of stuff going on in the background, but you know, I feel like it was all on her, and I do think that's a little bit unfair to her character, given that all this shit was initiated by all these other people coming for her. Like, there was no indication that there was any follow-up from her call to Lawrence on his birthday. I think Trey Lovely said it was a whole year that went by. So I definitely feel like it would have gone better, like, if Lawrence stepped up to Issa and did this grand gesture, because she was already winning so far. Like, she was on top notch, and I feel like it was kind of whack that she never really felt like really totally good about what she had going on, because her relationship shit was, you know, was not all there. Says, I agree. I was disappointed that Lawrence didn't fight for her, or at least see more effort from his side. Even a cheesy sin would have been like, anything would have been nice. Like, oh, congratulations, like bringing her a mug. Like, he came empty motherfucking handed. Like, damn, nigga, give her a fucking office warming shit. You know what I'm saying? So
why is everybody throwing pussy at Lawrence? I don't understand that. He ain't doing nothing, and everybody is throwing it at him. Like, that is just killing me. He's whack, dude. Lawrence is trash. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. And CA says, why does it have to be grandiose? That's not real life. Things happen as they happen. Actually, I've had grandiose gestures. I still said fuck off, but
all the time.
Yes, I've definitely had somebody damn near get hypothermia waiting outside my fucking house because I broke up with them. And obviously I'm not with that motherfucker right now, but he knew he had to do something and he almost froze to death. So I definitely believe that people are capable of grandiose gestures. Okay. Again, you can't relate. I understand you can't relate, CA. But anyways, let's see. I didn't think the extended elapse of time was really, and this was in Chicago. It was definitely about to be hypothermia. It was snowing. But anyways, let's see. Ashley, you gotta know that fine men don't have to work hard for cooch. Oh, never had to. That's real. I don't know about that. I don't know what y'all out there doing, but that's definitely not true. Issa was using her agency to get what she wanted. I'm not mad at that, Michelle. I think she definitely went after what she wanted, and good for her. Anyways, see, it's not that I can't relate. I'm grown, blah blah blah. Okay, that's fine.
Men don't have to work for a pick me coochie. If it's pick me, then no, they don't have to work for it. And Issa's a fucking pick me.
No, Issa ain't no pick. I don't think she a pick me.
I don't think Issa's a pick me. I think
she was mad pick me through this episode, y'all. She was
low key pick me in terms of
pick me.
Yeah. I agree.
How is she? Okay.
But she wasn't begging. I don't think she was begging, but I agree with Michelle. She was using her agency. She didn't try to appeal to Nathan. She was like, I'm happy you're happy. And that was the end of that. But I just feel...
Agency means pussy? What you mean? What's agency mean?
Okay, moving on. So, anyway, so they end up getting back together. however that happens, how anticlimactic that happens. And one thing they did keep a little bit of mystery. Like they try to keep some mystery throughout it. Like for instance, fast forward to Molly's episode, we don't see Lawrence for a while. Try to keep it mysterious. Like, okay, are they? I'm sorry, Molly and Torian's wedding. Then he brings her the drink, and it's like obviously together. But she was definitely giving like, damn, all my bitches got what they want and I'm still up here unmarried or whatever. She was definitely giving that energy for me. And he gave her a little sympathy, like dance or whatever. But then so any reactions to just Issa and Lawrence at the wedding? Was she giving, damn, I'm still unmarried, even though I done been back and forth to Disney for however fucking 5 seasons now? Or what was your thoughts?
I couldn't tell. He was asking her like, "Oh, are you okay?" I didn't know where that was coming from, but I guess that could have been because she's still sitting up here unmarried playing stepmommy.
Yeah. Well, Karina says I didn't get that vibe. Yaya says I got those vibe. I got that vibe.
It was kind of weird. I mean, I got a vibe of her. I guess they were trying to portray or give off this illusion that she was sad or something to let it be a surprise that Lawrence was there. But it was like, y'all failed. It wasn't. It didn't give what y'all thought it was gonna give.
Yeah, so we're getting mixed reactions. Some people said they saw it like it was like her friend taking a leap. I think the wedding scene between Lawrence and Issa was just for dramatics. I saw a ring on her finger at the wedding. I didn't see the wedding.
The ring on, y'all. That's the
she
thing.
Did. Well, did Lawrence have a ring on? Did he have a ring on?
I didn't pay no mind to him. But she had a ring on, like especially when she got home and she hugged the baby. She hugged y'all. You saw a ring. Then when she answered her phone, she had a ring on.
I guess I'm gonna have to go back and rewind it because I did not.
Yeah,
I wasn't paying. I wasn't looking at her hands, so that's my bad.
She had a ring on. She had a solitaire ring on. I couldn't see a band, but she had a ring on.
Okay, Issa's like Lawrence. See, this is what I was thinking. S. Murphy, she was dropping hands. Issa's like, Lawrence, make a move. That's what I took from it. But okay, we're gonna have to go back and we're gonna have to see who had the rings, whatever. Season says she has on rings. MD Terp says she had a ring on. Yaya says I missed the rings. So Takia says it was a fashion ring. Oh my god. Well, it was funny. Okay, this is funny. So KJ, you guys probably don't watch Sisters, but I watch Sisters. And KJ Smith, she just got engaged on Christmas. And so her fiance proposed. And the funny thing is when he proposed, she plays Andy on Sisters. She like had a ring on and she like took the ring off on her ring finger and tossed it on the table so she could put her engagement ring on. So it could have been a fashion ring. I know that's
pick me behavior.
What?
Wearing a pick me. You're not engaged or married and you wearing a ring on your ring finger. Girl,
I don't think that there's anything wrong. It's called a ring finger for a reason. You don't have to be engaged to wear a ring.
Okay, on that finger,
what was the purpose of the girl wearing the ring?
It could have been. I didn't see what kind of ring it was. Okay, never mind. Moving on.
Okay, sorry. That's
moving on because people wear fashion rings. That's the best ring. That's the best finger to put your.
But it goes. If you wear a fashion ring, that goes on your right hand, or
it can go. Maybe you can wear rings wherever you want to wear rings. Okay, but anyways, the long story short is it could have been a fashion ring, could have been an engagement ring. We don't know. MD Terp says she had a 1.5 carat ring. That is very specific.
Yeah, it wasn't too big, but it wasn't small.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back and fact check this because I'm really interested to see these rings. I guess my eyes weren't looking for it because I just assumed that they would have a scene about them getting married.
But I know they didn't show any engagements, nothing. That's why I was like, why she got a ring on? You can see it real good when she putting on lipstick. You can see it real good.
Okay, I have to go. How did I miss this? I'm so mad I missed this now. Karina says I saw a ring in the last scene, but I need more. Okay, so this was my thing. I was thinking when she got home and she saw that, first of all, beautiful home. I love the whole trip down memory lane. She went past We Got Y'all. She went past the Dunes. They even had the Best Buy t-shirt coming out of Rite Aid. We saw Thug Yoda, somebody said earlier. And then she walks into this beautiful, gorgeous house, and Lawrence is there with Elijah, who's older now. I mean, he looked like he's on to fucking talk and have a whole conversation.
He was baking the cake.
He was like, what, 4?
Girl, he was about 5.
He seemed like he was about 5 for me. Yeah. So, somebody says it gave Melanie and Derwin from The Game with Janae. I know, right? Yeah. Lawrence, I'm glad. The one thing I'm not gonna miss about Insecure is how fucking sensitive Lawrence Hive is. For fuck's sake. So who was hating on Lawrence? We're talking about a conference. We're talking about a show. Anyways, and I've said I've said
deadbeat dads.
I've said that I'm happy that Lawrence and Issa ended up together. We're walking through the scenes of a show. Anyways, so they get to this beautiful home. Now, see, what I was thinking was that because he was insisting on eating this cake, I was like, oh, maybe there's going to be a ring in the cake. That was my prediction. But then the next thing we see is her in the bathroom and then the show ends. So I was like, oh, damn. Okay, well, I guess not. But we're going to go with season and some people in the comments who saw a ring. So the show ends with Issa is either engaged or married. I guess we'd have to see Lawrence's hands to see if they were married. But they have a beautiful home. She's obviously adjusted to being a stepmother. Everybody gets a happy ending. Are we happy or are we not happy?
Good job.
We're all happy.
I'm happy it's over.
Yeah. She also says to Molly at the end, so this is what I have to look forward to. Oh, that's another good nugget. Yeah. Because Molly is on her honeymoon, I presume, in that. So maybe, I mean, obviously she wouldn't have said that, right, if they were already married. So maybe they got engaged. I don't know. But at any rate, they're on the right path together to live happily ever after. So I'm happy because I have always been Team Issa. I said, I don't really care who she ends up with as long as she ends up with somebody. I would have been pissed if she ended up single because I'm like, why the fuck did you have all this Lawrence shit back and forth for her to just end up with a nobody? Like, to me, that's stupid. But she ended up happy with Lawrence. Careers popping. She had her Lexus, y'all. Y'all noticed that? She was driving around her Lexus. She wasn't driving. I forget what kind of car she had before. But she had the hoopty before, so she ended up completely on top. So I absolutely love that. And the scene ended with her and Molly on the phone with the whole broken pussy reference, which I thought was really hilarious. Clearly, neither one of their pussies are broken because they're moving on to live happily ever after. Any final thoughts about the show? Any last words?
They skipped over a lot that I wish they would have given us, that they could have given us throughout the season. Like we could have had a couple of more weddings. We could have seen Issa's engagement. Like if you're gonna give it to us, give it to us. Like if you're gonna make her, I think it was maybe you, Reese, said a few towards the beginning. Like if you're gonna put her with Lawrence and this baby, then show us her life as a stepmom, into this new transitional phase. It's rare that you see this type of realm, this type of, show. So like, give it to us. If you're going to force it down our throats of her being with this raggedy dude, then like, let us see how it turned out for her, like what's really happening. Oh, so it's supposed to be fantasy and happy. She making a cake and blah. So it's like, yeah, y'all ended it on a very high note, which I can appreciate. I can always appreciate seeing Black women getting their happiness. Like, that's dope. But it's just, y'all could have just gave us a lot more. So I'm glad the season is over. I'm glad the series is over. Like, I don't want to see nothing else from y'all. Unless I kind of want to see Kelly a little bit more because I just enjoyed every scene she was in. But other than that, I'm happy it's done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Ashley really hates Lawrence. I think she's trolling because people are so sensitive.
Yeah, y'all stay ridiculous, raggedy ass niggas. Like he's a deadbeat.
Now, here's my thing. I think since they did so many time jumps in this episode, they could have given us one more like flash forward, but it's okay that they didn't. I think that they covered enough ground. It was rushed. They did cut corners. But ultimately I am happy with how it ended because it followed through these people that we have been, watching on the screen for five seasons, and everybody got a mostly happy ending aside from Molly's mom dying, which was fucked up and unnecessary. Season, final thoughts?
Um, I I'm glad it's over. I won't be rewatching anything. I'm not a fan of Issa Rae, so I won't be catching anything else she does. Um, but from my understanding, a lot of people have connected to this show. As a LA girl, I, really wanted to, like this show and the nostalgia of it, but I really just didn't relate to a lot of the storylines. And but I'm glad to see all the women get their happy endings. And yeah, no spinoffs, please. Just let this go. And yeah, we could. They missed so many opportunities with so many storylines and character development that it's just like, okay, yeah, just since there, you don't leave us to our imagination. Just let everybody be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I
But
don't
good
think
run, get money, sis.
I think ultimately,
Do that, and
I think
Issa needs to stay behind the camera. She needs to stay behind the camera.
I think Insecure kind of built this larger than life like imprint on the culture, right? Culture and air quotes, that it became more expected. More was expected from the show than what the show ever set out to be. Like, I don't think the show ever set out to be like, we're representing this age group and all of these different life experiences. I think it set out to be like Awkward Black Girl for 30 minutes on HBO. And I feel like if you keep that in mind, I think the show did what it was supposed to do. Like, yes, we would have liked to have gotten more character development, but ultimately it's like a dramedy. And so I don't think that it really fell short of that. I feel like expectations rose of what is expected of Insecure to maybe in a way that didn't really track with what they were setting out to do. I do think that there were some missed opportunities in terms of how they could have chosen to present certain things in this last season, but ultimately each episode I think was funny. Ultimately, they kind of lived up to what the show meant to a lot of people, or at least what people wanted to see, by cramming a lot in this last 43 minutes to where they gave closure in a way that was really fair, I think, to all the characters, and gave every character its place to shine. And so for that reason, I really love what they did. I loved, you know what, and this is gonna sound bad. I love we didn't get a Black Lives Matter episode. I love we didn't get like a pandemic episode. I love we didn't get an episode that was like, this is the Black episode about this fucking fucked up shit that happens in Black people's lives. There was stuff that happened, but it was never presented as like, oh, this is happening in the real world, so we have to bring that into the show. I love that it never became like, this is what's going viral on Twitter, so let's find a way to like tap into Black Twitter. Or, like, I mean, it had some calls to it, but it was never trying to be anything more than what it was. And I think it accomplished that. And I think ultimately, whether, everybody, a lot of people thought that this season was just okay, I thought they understood the assignment. And, there are other shows that are more in depth. And, I think we have those shows to still rewatch or watch or whatever. But for this show, I think that they had its place. It was a place that really wasn't occupied. Like, the only other show that I can say is kind of along these lines, to be honest, is Bigger on BET Plus. I don't know if you guys probably haven't watched that. I love Bigger on I think Bigger is a better show, but I loved Bigger. It didn't get renewed for a third season. So I feel like this very specific lane, there's no other show that did what Issa's did for this show. Especially when you think of like having two very brown skinned Black women as the leads, and you got to see them pursued and sometimes being a pick me, but you got to see them go through a range of things. And I love that. I love that. You got to see natural hair. You got to see such a range in terms of just presentation of Black women. So I think that there was a lot of really wonderful things about the show, and I think it ended on a high note. And so that's how I'm going to end our discussion on a high note with saying, hey, it made some stars. I think Issa is like considered A-list now. She has this big production company. She's still, Black owned, and she's based in Leimert Park, which I think is great. Yvonne Orji, I mean, she's doing all kind of big shit right now. She had two successful comedy specials. She's doing a lot of stuff. She had a movie. Amanda Seales, she has obviously not really had the best relationship with the castmates, but she's gone on to bigger things. So the long motherfucking story, moral of the story is, I think it opened doors for people on the cast. I think it opened more doors for Black stories. And the good thing, like I said, last thing I'll say is, guess what? It ended on a good note. So thank y'all for sticking with us this whole season. People may have been salty at the different comments, and that's fine. But guess what? You was tuned in and you was commenting. So that's a win for us. And for y'all that rocked with us and you didn't have all kind of little nasty shit, just like, we love you more. Okay. So thank y'all. And I don't know, we're recapping next season. Who was not drinking is having a baby in a couple of weeks. So we wish her nothing but a safe and healthy delivery. And, so we'll be back in some months with some show, and we're going to try to keep it cool, keep it cute. Bye, y'all. Peace out.
Bye, y'all.